Thomas Mott, welcome into Philadelphia Eagles Now. A weekend mailbag is coming right up, although I keep getting DM'd on Twitter at @RealThomasMott. Thomas, you seem to only pick a certain amount of people for our mailbag videos. Why haven't you picked me yet? Well, one, you gotta use the hashtag Eagles and ask a good question, but two, you must be a subscriber, and so now here's your chance, right? If you have not subscribed to the channel and you want to get your mailbag questions asked, or you can just like the channel as well, it's kind of a reason to go ahead and subscribe, go down below and hit that red subscribe button, as well as turning on the notification bell as well, the way you're notified when our latest videos drop. So if you want to get your questions answered, as all the people in this in today's rundown were all subscribers and they got their questions answered, or will be getting their questions answered, go ahead and subscribe down below right now. Let's jump into a weekend Eagles mailbag here. Subscriber Kai28 says, I think we can win the Super Bowl this year, because back until 2017, the Eagles did have an elite running back room, such as the one we have right now. Listen, anyone can win the Super Bowl, but I think the Eagles' goal should be 9 wins. I think right now, if you want to be a healthy Eagles fan and give yourself some, maybe a little bit, biased expectations, but healthy expectations, 9 wins should be right where you think Philadelphia can be. We saw the schedule. We did that a couple of days ago. I think it's a winnable schedule. It's very, very hard early, but not so bad a little bit late. You don't have to travel a lot after like week 10 or 11 or whatever it is, but you should not be thinking Super Bowl right now. You should be thinking 9 wins, because anything more, or anything more, let's say this, anything more than 9 wins is a huge accomplishment, and the Eagles are like flying high, and we can all get super pumped. Anything less than 9 wins, if it's 7 or 8, we can, have some debates on what the season was, whether it was good or bad. If it's less than 7, then this is going to be a really long 2021, as it was last year. So we got to hope for, I think, right about 9 wins. In terms of the running game, I do agree with your assessment that it is one of the more elite running back rooms they've had since the Super Bowl. That was one of the big reasons. You're right. With Garrett Blount, they can mix up with Corey Clement, who used to be good, no longer good. Jay Ajayi as well. I think this running back room is better. It's not as physical, because Ajayi, Clement, and Blount were all big physical pounding running backs. A little more elusive, but I really like what they have right now at running back. So I would agree in that aspect, but just calm down on the Super Bowl stuff, right? I mean, if they go to it, if they make the playoffs, we should all be pumped, right? 9 wins, compete for the division, make the playoffs as either a wild card or the 4 seed, and I will be super excited as a Philadelphia Eagle fan, and you guys should be as well. Okay, pin comment down below. How many wins do you guys have the Eagles having in 2021? I asked this on my video a couple of days ago. A lot of people are saying 7 to 10. Some people are saying 4 to 5. I mean, give me your thoughts, though, in the pin comment. How many wins will the Eagles have in 2021? Let's keep going here for our next question. Gus Dude Arzenber, sorry if I butchered that. He says, are you also sad about EDP 445? Really? Let's keep going. No. We're not talking about that. But aside from okay, let's move on. Skip that part. But aside from that, thank you, how will the Eagles work the new wide receiver core and deal with an aging O-line? There you go. That's the good part of the question. Goodness gracious, guys. Right now, the biggest need at wide receiver is chemistry. I love what they did at wide receiver this offseason, mainly because they, of course, added Devante Smith. But I do think that this is a young wide receiver core with a lot of potential. Right now, though, you need chemistry between the wide receiver core, between themselves, and, of course, Jalen Hurts. And if you can get that chemistry, and they've been working out in this offseason, and so hopefully the chemistry has been built. If you can get that chemistry and you get some good play calling, this wide receiver core can really flourish. Obviously, Devante Smith, you add in guys like Jalen Reagor. I mean, this can be a very, very good, at least better than what it's been the past couple of years, wide receiver core. In terms of the aging offensive line, I guess it's aging because Jason Kelce's a little bit old, but Lane Johnson is still in his prime. Brandon Brooks, when healthy, is still in his prime. Isaac Seumalo is still in his prime, and Andre Dillard or Jordan Mailata are about to be in their prime. So the only aging part of it is, of course, Kelce. But at the same time, they drafted Landon Dickerson to replace him next year if he's healthy. And so I wouldn't say the age of the offensive line is the concern. I'd say the health of the offensive line is the concern. Back to the wide receivers, though, I do think that this is going to be a much better wide receiver core than we have seen, especially if Devante Smith is as good as advertised. I've watched a lot of highlights on him. Man, he is good. If he can do what he did to college cornerbacks in the National Football League, Philadelphia's got their guy for the next couple of years. Who has more receiving yards in 2021? Reagor or Fulgham? What do you guys think? Because obviously we are going to pick Devante Smith to have the most receiving yards in Philadelphia, but I think number 2 is going to be Reagor or Fulgham. Who has more? Type R down below for Reagor, type F down below for Fulgham. I love both of them. I hope both of them have tremendous success this year, but I'm leaning a little more towards Reagor because you did spend a first-round draft pick on him, but I digress. Let me know what you guys think. Reagor or Fulgham down below right now in the comments section. Speaking of Devante Smith, and we mentioned this a couple of times now, his jersey is still for sale because it hasn't sold out yet, surprisingly, and you can pick yours up at jetsports.com/Devante. Philadelphia officially announced wearing number 6. Love that. I mean, It looks fantastic in midnight green. Also comes in their, of course, black and white jerseys as well. And then you have men's sizes, ladies' sizes, you have the kids' sizes as well. It's all there at the link in the description box, chatsports.com/Devante. Pick it up right now because this is probably the hottest Eagle jersey on the market right now. And if they run out, then you gotta wait for them to make some more. And these are all, of course, official Nike NFL jerseys. They're not the knockoff stuff from overseas. The real deal. So pick one up down below right now. Chris Hero says, I think Zech McPherson can win the cornerback 2 spot. How well do you think he can play under Slay? We need to hope that he wins the cornerback number 2 spot. The number 2 cornerback spot has me extremely worried. And it's very simple why. Philadelphia, I think, did a very good job at addressing all aspects of positions of need on the football team this offseason, minus cornerback. They added to the offensive line in terms of a depth perspective, and they got healthy there as well. They added to the running backs. They drafted wide receivers. They got a linebacker. They signed a safety. Like, they did basically everything you could possibly hope from a positional group perspective, minus, I guess, pass rusher, because they didn't really get a pass rusher. And then, of course, cornerback. And I like the pass rushing group a lot right now because they've been good the past couple of years. But aside from, I guess, McPherson and Slay, the only other option at number 2 is Avonte Maddox. Like, Slay's going to be one. Are we now just going to sit back and let Vontae Maddox and a rookie, Zech McPherson, compete it out for number 2? If that's the case, then you better hope this guy is good. And I watched the Texas Tech highlights again. I think he's decent, but I would have much rather them gotten a cornerback in, say, round 2 instead of Landon Dickerson to go ahead and give me a little more faith and hope in a number 2 guy. I guess the thought process is here, Darius Slay locks down one side, he trains the other guy on the left side, and then they eventually turn out to be really good. I do like the addition of Anthony Harris. He's going to help out from a safety perspective. I think overall the defense is light years better than what it was, but that number 2 cornerback spot could be a very real scenario where, I mean, no one throws to Slay's side because they're going to lock down whoever it is and just pick on a rookie or what has been very big-time struggling Zech McPherson or Avonte Maddox. So it has me worried, but I do think McPherson has the skills to be a starting cornerback, but every player drafted has the skills to be a starter, but will they actually be a starter? Who really knows? All right, Michael Flowers says he thinks he'll be the biggest target for Jalen Hurts in the red zone. It should be Dallas Goedert, and I think all of us should hope that it will be Dallas Goedert. But I think the big problem with Dallas Goedert right now is health. A lot of the good young Eagles, the problem is they haven't been able to stay healthy, and Goedert was no exception last year. If Goedert 1 needs to stay healthy, and 2 he needs to really take over at the number 1 tight end. I know Zach Ertz is still on the roster for now, which is to me good news because I want him to go ahead and stay. But the odds of him staying and starting the season are probably still pretty slim because a trade could happen any day technically if a team wants to go ahead and make a move for him. So Goddard's going to be the number 1 tight end more than likely. He's got to be healthy, and he's got to really take over as the physical freak and elite tight end he was drafted to be. He was drafted early on, 2nd round in that Dallas draft a couple of years ago for a reason, and he flashes some really good skill sets, but just staying consistent and healthy has been a big deal. You make the argument that Fulgham should go ahead and be the red zone target. That's fine. Obviously, Devante Smith was really good in the red zone for Alabama during his career there, but I think right now Goedert is probably the number 1 guy that you really want to be the true red zone threat because he has the size, and from a tight end perspective, that's what you would go ahead and expect. Again, other than those 2 in Fulgham, I guess J.J. Arcega-Whiteside is the only other tall receiver. Maybe Trayvon Grimes, the undrafted free agent, but no trust in those 2 guys because 1's undrafted and 2, the other guy plays like he's undrafted in J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. I will say this, though. I am still pumped that Ertz is on the roster. Like, I thought he was going to be traded during the draft because everyone told us he was going to be traded during the draft, and it didn't happen. So we'll see. I mean, drop a like for Ertz still being on the roster, though, at least as of today, as of filming this. Maybe he's traded, and you're like, Thomas, he was just traded. If it happened right now, though, technically, upon filming this, you're watching here on a Saturday, he has not been traded. So give a thumbs up for that because I like the idea of him still being on the roster. Chris says, am I the only person who thinks it's crazy to give away 3 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson? Even if he was able to play right now, we have other needs in this team, and throwing away that many first-rounders for one player is the biggest fool's move we can make. Yeah, I mean, you're not crazy. You're 100% right. I've been saying that for literally months. One, the odds of him being able to play in 2021, to me, are next to nothing. We'll see what the legal battles actually are going to go ahead and discover or find out or report to us, whatever you want to call it. And 2, yeah, I mean, the best case scenario for Philadelphia is they win 9 games next year. The Colts and the Dolphins both struggle, and then you have 3 first-round draft picks somewhere between like 8, 13, and 21, right? You have 3 first-round draft picks. You can fill a ton of needs, including the cornerback spot we just talked about because they need help at corner. Before we go ahead and keep going, again, quick reminder, make sure you guys are subscribed and turn on the notification bell as well because we got plenty more content coming up. I'm going to do a full breakdown of the games I think the Eagles can win and the games I think that they will lose as we look at the schedule probably next week, so subscribe for that. So make sure, again, you guys go ahead and go down below, subscribe, and turn the notification bell on at the same time. All right, let's do one more here. Nick says, what's one player on the Eagles team you think will have a big-time breakout season, not including Ertz or any of the rookies? Probably Jalen Reagor. I think, and I don't know if that's because I expect Reagor to have a breakout season, because I want Reagor to have a breakout season. That's two different things. I think I really want Reagor to have a breakout season, so I hope that it's him. Maybe it's Travis Fulgham. Those two are the guys that can be real wild cards here, especially as they're a number 2 or number 3 wide receiver, and all the focus goes to Devante Smith. Those are two guys that I really, 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 really hope will be successful and will be able to play well and be able to actually be contributors on offense for not only Jalen Hurts, but the rest of this football team. All right, ultimately, for today here on Philadelphia Eagles. Now, again, if you didn't get your question answered, you can also ask a question right now down below in the comments section using the hashtag Eagles, because I look at this one and then the next one to go ahead and decide what ones I'm going to pull for the questions. And maybe your question just wasn't, relevant enough. I don't know. You got to ask a question that's relevant. We go ahead and, write it down and pull it up here on the video. So go ahead and use the hashtag Eagles to get in our next mailbag. And one final time, just to remind you, subscribers are the ones who get their mailbag questions answered. And so all you got to do, it's literally free, go down below, hit the red subscribe button, and then type your question, and then more than likely you will go ahead and be polled as we do this every single week. All right, ultimately for today here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. I'm your host, Thomas Mott. I'm signing off. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you guys back here on Monday. Go Eagles, and again, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day.